One Reaction with Levy, and welcome back to the Daily One Reaction here on August 9th. We've got a big day to cover, big week coming up. Let's start with the MLB as that race is heating up. We're about 2 months away from the start of the MLB playoffs, and let's go through my 5 reactions so far here on August 9th. Number 1. The AL East race. It's on fire right now. Rays are scorching hot, and they lead the division by 4 games after their sweep of Boston. Last weekend, the Red Sox have been ice cold, but get an opportunity this week. Big series this week, Tampa Bay, Boston for that race. Meanwhile, don't forget about the Yankees and the Blue Jays. They're right there playing great baseball, right in the mix. Of course, the Yankees getting Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo, and the Blue Jays picking up a couple other guys as well. Number 2. This story has been floating around recently. Bryce Harper, is he an MVP candidate in the NL? The Phillies have taken the lead in the NL East after their sweep versus the Mets this weekend. Harper definitely making his case. It's Harper's play, second best season of his career right now, plus DeGrom and Tatis, both MVP frontrunners, both hurt. So you can see Harper sneaking up there. I think the team, whether it's the Phillies, is it the Christian Yelich or the Brewers, is it the Cardinals and Paul Goldschmidt? One of these guys, if they get their team hot, I think they'll win the MVP. So watch out for Bryce Harper in the MVP race. Number 3, are the Giants for real? I think they are. I think they really are. Chris Bryant, the addition has been huge, huge for San Francisco. They just beat Milwaukee on the road, 2 out of 3. They're the first place team in the NL Central. They lead by 4 games over LA. A lot to like with the Giants. Question is, now we're in the second half. Now things start to heat up, and you see all the Dodgers' talent. Can they fend off LA before the playoffs? That's going to be something to watch. Number 4, speaking of the Mets, Javi Baez deal not working out so far in terms of their offense. Their offense is struggling, and the one guy that can really help them, Francisco Lindor, we do not know when he's back. They need him back soon, and they need him back badly. This Mets offense really struggled this weekend in Philadelphia against the Phillies, and that's why they lost. They didn't let up too many runs. It was the offense that really just didn't produce. Number 5, the other division races. Let's talk about this. Reds 8-2 in their past 10, 5 games back behind Milwaukee, who lost 2 out of 3 against San Francisco. That could be an interesting race down the stretch. In the AL West, we have the Astros. They're 4-6 in their past 10. Watch the A's. They're 8-2. Starling Marte has really rejuvenated this A's clubhouse. They're right there with the Astros in the AL West. So 2 other division races. Those are more 2-team races to watch. Of course, you got the AL and NL East. Those are crazy. NL West too. And then, of course, the AL Central is kind of out of reach for everyone but the White Sox, who continue to just stroll along in this season. They continue to impress with their pitching and their hitting. So that should be something fun to watch. Let's move on. NFL training camp, 3 headline preview. Let's move to the AFC North. Let's start with the Baltimore Ravens. Number 1, can this new receiving core featuring rookie Rashad Bateman? You have Marquise Brown coming back. You have Boykin growing up. You have Sammy Watkins coming in. Can this receiving core propel this offense to new heights for Lamar Jackson? And then number 2 is, can Lamar Jackson do it? Can he take the next step through the air? This team was the best running offense in football. They struggled with the pass. I think they were last, so they're going to have to boost that. Certainly, Watkins and Bateman will help. Can Lamar Jackson take that next step to really help this offense? And number 3, if those things come together, then you got a good shot of beating Kansas City. So is this team currently assembled with coaching, with players? Can they have a chance to beat Kansas City and reach the Super Bowl? That's a big headline going into camp. Second team, we got the Cleveland Browns. Number 1, of course, we got to talk about OBJ coming off his season-ending injury that happened in Dallas. Is he back healthy and ready to go? It seems like he is. Number 2, a star that struggled last year in Tennessee, Jadeveon Clowney, coming over to Cleveland. He'll be opposite Myles Garrett. I think both those guys. I think Clowney will draw way more one-on-one situations. Can he be the force that he was supposed to be here in the NFL and that he was in Houston? That will be the question off the edge. It's going to be him and Myles Garrett. Can they really propel this Cleveland offense and defense? And number 3, does Baker Mayfield have the temperament to lead the Cleveland Browns? Does he have the skill? Does he have it? That's the main question, to be a force. They won 1 playoff game last year. Can they maybe take that next step with Baker Mayfield before he gets his contract extension? 13, Pittsburgh Steelers. Big stories of the offseason. They couldn't run the ball last year. They rejuvenate their offensive line. They get Najee Harris, first-round pick. Can this run game really help this offense and help Big Ben? Number 2, can Big Ben, another key story of the offseason, Big Ben coming back. Can he win at this age and stay healthy? He doesn't put in the offseason work as some of these other guys. Does he have the ability to stay healthy and win? That's the second question. Number 3, can their secondary? So their secondary is interesting because their defense is loaded. Secondary a little weaker. Joe Hayden's still there starting. He's aging every year. I think he's in the high 30s. And Cameron Sutton, third-round pick of 2017. Can those two guys really lead the secondary with Minkah Fitzpatrick? They're going to have to cover because no Bud Dupree. They won't get to the quarterback as often. TJ Watt in some negotiations. Joe Hayden, Cameron Sutton have to be great on the cornerback positions. Let's move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 1 question to me, it didn't happen last year, but can this offensive line protect Joe Burrow? Jonah Williams is back and healthy. The questionable move in the draft. The Bengals passed on Penei Sewell, who is the best offensive lineman in the draft from Oregon. They passed on him to get Jamar Chase. Will that backfire on them? I think it could because I thought they should have taken Sewell. Number 2, Burrow is off a knee surgery. It's his first year back. Is he comfortable enough? Because we've heard that he struggled, not the same toughness, not the same it factor that he had last year in practice. Number 3, this Bengal defense, I think, is the key this year. They're young, but I think they got some sneaky good pieces. You got Von Bell locked up. You got Sam Hubbard locked up. You got some other guys that they sprinkled in there, those young linebackers. They're a very young defense, but I think they got some talent. Can they come together as a group and help this offense? That's going to be the question this year. But I do think Cincinnati's defense, they got a lot of young guys and a lot of guys that can compete, and I think they're going to be pretty good. So that will be the question in Cincinnati. So this AFC North division, you can hear all the optimism. They're stacked. You got the Ravens, Browns as a favorite. Steelers right behind them. And then, of course, Cincinnati, they're still rebuilding, but I expect them. If Burrow can really stay healthy and bring back what he did last year, and this offensive line can do something to protect them, they got the talent. They certainly do, because this Bengals defense, it might be young, but it's very talented. It will be very interesting to see what Cincinnati does and whether Zach Taylor can lead this team to a better campaign in his 3rd year as the NFL, as the head coach of the Bengals. So, one reaction with Levy, the daily one reaction here on Monday, August 9th.